How do you suss out, Jordan Palmer here on the Rich Eisen Show, how do you suss out the quarterback class that we are all assuming is going to go in the first round? Walk me through that.
Yeah, I think it's early to have an opinion on what teams think or any of that, and I honestly don't read what people are saying. It's funny, I stopped paying attention to anything anybody said because earlier on in my career, people would call me, writers and whatever, to get, interview about the draft picks. And I didn't know. And I go, all right, so if all these people are calling me and I'm like one of the best resources and I'm telling you I have no idea, then I definitely am not going to read what other people write. So I think Cam Ward can play. I think I'm really excited to see him transition. I think it's rare that you have somebody go to 3 different spots and play the exact same way. He just kind of like dominated at Incarnate Word, Washington State, and then lastly at Miami. I think Shedeur is just, my word for him is just fascinating. I'm just going to be fascinated to watch.
Why are you fascinated by Shedeur Sanders?
The son of, that whole thing. I remember I was on this thing a long time ago. It's called the NFL Legends Youth Advisory Committee. Troy Vincent put this group of people together and we would talk about the growth of football and all that stuff. And we'd meet quarterly. And I was the only not famous person there. This is Prime was on it.
Okay. Wasn't
Coach Prime. He was Prime.
Yep.
But Willie McGinnis and Nate Burleson before he was on TV and all these guys. And so Chad Pennington. And I remember we had a 15-minute break and Prime goes, "Hey, let me show you my 7th grader." So like I started paying attention to Shedeur then, and I go, "Can he move like you?" He goes, "No, but he can play like Brady." Right. And so I've been fascinated. I've been watching it all the way from Jackson State to Colorado to the draft. So I'm just going to be fascinated to watch him. And then the third quarterback is going to be really interesting. I don't think that's going to get sussed out until the 30 visits are done. Is it Jalen? Is it Jackson? Is it Kyle McCord? Is it some of these other guys?
Well, you're referring to Jackson Dart, and that's the name that you see in a ton of mock drafts that you may not be paying attention to, but that's the guy that people are pegging as a trade back into the first round if he drops to go grab him and get that 5th year of contractual control.
Yep.
And that's the guy that you're hearing a lot about on that front. Right?
Yeah, actually on that. So I think most people forget that Lamar Jackson, that's what happened.
Yep.
Right. He was the 32nd pick in the draft. Right.
Yes, sir.
And we every year the draft comes around and it's like 1 through 3 or 1, 2, and then 4. Right. You know what I mean? It's always at the top of the draft. I think this year, not a prediction, but I think this could be a year where we see maybe 2 guys go early, and then we see like 2 or 3 guys go late in the first. You know what I mean? Like people trying to get back in. I can't remember a time where we saw multiple quarterbacks go in the last couple picks. You would know better than I would, but this would be that kind of year where I go, combination of the types of players that are going to be there, the names we just said, and some other names too. But also, there's going to be a run on D linemen. This is, I think, potentially a historic D line class, And so, like, what does that do to the first round? Because everybody can use a D lineman, especially there's good interior D linemen and there's good edge rushers. So you can make an argument that all 32 teams are in the market for one of those. And I think that could cause like a mid first round just run. Whereas like not everybody needs a first round wideout. Very few teams would take a running back in the first round, right?
Yeah, well, unless there's Ashton Genty this time around. That kid is something amazing. Catch the Rich Eisen Show every single day on the Roku channel, 12 to 3 Eastern, for free.